Thursday, August the 3rd, 2023, and this week I'm down in Surrey attempting to undertake this walk that I've been trying to do for the last 3 weeks now. I've managed to succeed in getting here, Milford, and there's about 11 miles of walking to be undertaken to Godalming along the Greensand Way, passing through the Winkworth arboretum. Pretty decent day thus far. It should be cloudy right now per the Met Office, as you can see. Not always to be believed. They are indicating that this afternoon will be cloudy, however, so let's see how accurate that turns out to be. There is a north-westerly breeze once again, which may come over on commentary in gusts, but pretty decent walking conditions otherwise, with a temperature of around 20 degrees at the moment. This is book 1, walk 20, if I remember correctly, and I certainly do remember undertaking a couple of walks from this station. In fact, I kind of envisaged what the station was going to be like before I even got here, and this walk was last undertaken in 2010, 13 years back, being rewalked today because it was done in 2 parts back then, as was YouTube's way. So let's get cracking. It's 12:15, should be done by about 5. Let's see what awaits. Interesting station, as I say, which I do remember from days of yore. We go over the footbridge and out through the White Gate initially, and we follow that path immediately next to the railway line, which has some police tick-a-tack tape over it. Leaving the station, and again this is one of those walks where from the station you're almost immediately out into the countryside, unlike last week where it took a couple of miles through my own creation, mind you, because obviously don't forget the GPX track that I was following didn't start until a couple of miles out in the countryside anyway. But this one is ideal, this narrow footpath alongside the railway. This very narrow path, definitely single file traffic. It's quite squelchy underfoot following recent rains. Finally come out opposite Crossways Cottage here. Do a left along this surfaced lane with some new properties that I don't recall from my last walk here. The view from Enton Mill, which brings me to the height variables today. Quite a variation, ranging from 118 foot to 622. So there's going to be some ups and downs for sure. There is Enton Mill, former mill, with associated cottages nearby. Now on Bridleway 151, going under the railway line, passing through the few settlements of the few properties of the settlement of Great Enton. Yeah, sun's still holding out, fantastic. Now following the path through Old Enton on the map. Yeah, and this could definitely be a bit dubious during the wetter winter months. I think I did it in May in 2010. So it was fine underfoot from memory. Classic here, oak tree. with nuthatch somewhere up there. Okay, entering a field of horses, which is fine with me. That looks to be Enton Hall on the map. And as you can hear in the background now, unfortunately we're coming into Gatwick flight paths. Wonderful spread of lilies over there on my left. There is lots of water around on my left as I walk from the station actually, but most of it not visible. Hence the fairly low figure of 118 foot today. Okay, next to these pylon posts there's a footpath marker left into the woods, which we follow. Lots of bracken around this time of year. Love it. And talking about bracken and the need for secateurs at this time of year, I appear to have lost mine somewhere over the last 3 weeks. I think it was when I was down in Berkshire, crossing that common with its multitude of rabbit holes, which I sunk into. Anyway, needs replacing rapidly. So here we are in July. Look at it, pretty damp. Just having passed Buses Common behind me over there. Good that the council, Surrey again, a good one, are putting these little mini boardwalks via railway sleepers down to avoid the pools. The old llamas have heard me. And some young buzzards, I think, behind me somewhere. One advantage of walking in these damp conditions underfoot is that it's quite springy. Not overly muddy, but just right really. Could do with a few less puddles, but hey ho. Yeah, you can hear it somewhere over there. Having opened my mouth a bit too early, this is by far the worst section thus far. Passing the Merry Harriers, Hambledon. Very pleasant looking place. Opening hours there. And there is a bus stop immediately outside the front of this place, if needed. Buses to Guildford, I believe. Let me just check. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays only. Yeah, Guildford, Milford, Godalming. $615,000 for a 2-bedroom cottage, if anybody's interested. Comis Cottages, Hambledon. Unbelievable, eh? Onward journeys immediately opposite the pub. Starting to ascend now. A quick look at St Peter's Church, Hambledon. Very pleasant. Wonderful. Interesting inscription here in the porch. Lovely little church. Nice stained glass. Otherwise quite plain and simple. And the view back. All the rectors here. With an extension on the wall over there. Simon Willits being the current incumbent. So that was St Peter's as it clouds over. Following this Greensand Way finger post almost opposite the church, slightly to the right downhill. Now following the Greensand Way, as you can see there, through this small car park. Immediately opposite to the church, just on the left. Now coming into a bit of wheat country, just for variety. So you can see we're ascending now as the wind picks up. Classic Yellowhammer singing somewhere over there. Little bit of bread and no cheese. Staying on the Greensand Way, we do a right here. Walking along the edge of Van Hill on the map here, about 420 foot, with a gully down on my right there. Not visible clearly though. Okay, at this juncture, got a couple of options. Well, I don't believe we go down that one, but we do follow this higher one. No, it's a descending one, not the one I thought. I'm following a GPX track today, not adhering to the notes really. Sure they're more helpful, but hey ho. Wow, what a wonderful view. Certainly don't recall this, but no doubt I would have filmed it 13 years back. And there we are looking over towards, what's it called, Black.
Total distance 4 miles.
Yeah, as you may have heard, 4 miles into the walk exactly here. Oh, I can't remember what that place is, Black Hawk Down or something. Yeah, Black Down over towards Haslemere. Wonderful view. Yeah, wonderful vista. Very pleasant. And in the southeast of England, eh? That's what I've said since day one. You have to hunt hard for these little pockets, and even harder still 13 years on, but they are still about, thanks to walk creators like Saturday Walkers Club. eventually come out onto this lane where we take a left. So just on this bend of Markwick Lane, which does have a bit of traffic on it. Continue following the Greensand Way here, right. The way becomes a bit of a gully here. Now walking through the mixed woodland of the Hurtwood on the map. Quite a large woodland this. As you'd likely expect, several deer around. They weren't munkjack, so although I didn't get a good look at them, I'd imagine they're roe, fallow, not sure. Another good idea, eh? Continuing to descend at this junction. Lovely mixed woodland we're passing through. Sweet chestnuts, beech. Bit of birdsong returning as well as we enter August. Take the Greensand Way here to the right, not continuing ahead here. And then descend sharply to the left shortly after. Some wonderful bracket fungus there on a sweet chestnut, I think. What's left of the sweet chestnut. Nuthatch again in the background. So 5.7 miles into the walk, we come out to the recommended lunchtime stop, the White Horse in Hascombe, which doesn't look like it's open at the minute. No cars outside it. But as usual, my lunch respite awaits over there, St Peter's, Hascombe. Well, it is open and all the cars are in the car park to the side of it. A wonderful church. Lovely surroundings. (2:15), spot on. There is a seat near the church entrance, but I'm at the back of the church now, and as this one suggests, give me a quiet corner, and that's the sort of seat I prefer. So let's get cracking on my lunch. And this week I have remembered the sandwiches, thank God, as this is a bit of a tougher walk. 2:45, lunch has been had, time to press on. Bit of a swarm up there, some kind of bee's nest. Could hear that over lunch. So here we are inside St Peter's, Hascombe. Some lovely artwork in here. Wow, look at that artwork. Managed to find out how to get the lights on, which is useful. Quite amazing. I was reading about a chap that does this renovation work in the Countryman magazine. I wonder if he did this, which looks like it has been renovated at some time. Very few people in the country doing it. It's a rare art now, literally. Lovely leaded windows as well. The ceiling is phenomenal. Look at that. Some magnificent little church, this. And the organ integrates into it nicely as well. View into that little room to the side. Quite amazing, isn't it? And the view back with a lovely leaded window at the back there. I think some of those bees or wasps are inside here as well, which is a bit worrying. You might be able to hear them. And there is actually a guide here to the wall painting and windows, but clearly I don't have time to read that today. But I'm sure you can learn all about this on Google. Wonderful place. St Peter's, Hascombe. Passing the village small lake, I won't call it a pond, which also has a number of picnic opportunities around it. Okay, there is a path up that way behind the schoolhouse. However, we continue on the lane here. Definitely a top-notch little village, this, or hamlet more like. Hascombe, Surrey. So at this finger post in front of Upper House Farm, we take a left, following the bridleway. Path splits here. Either one will get you to where you need to be, but the GPX track takes us through this field on the upper path, so let's see. Lots of Winkworths around here, so we'll soon be at the arboretum, I would guess. Now a bit of dicey road walking, busy B road. So after a couple of 100 yards of dodgy road walking there, a sign of the times. 13 years ago it was nothing like as busy as it is now. We enter the arboretum at Winkworth. Eventually arrive at the public car park here, where we do a sharp right following this footpath, which is handy. So here we go, entering the arboretum. And I've just passed their cafe, which would be an early useful early tea stop for those that want to take tea. The trusts normally finish around 4, if memory serves. New visitor centre being built here. You can read all about that online if you so wish. Certainly going to modernise the catering facilities. Yep, full steam ahead in there. Probably won't be done this year, but certainly for next spring I'd imagine. Wonderful estate. Great place for the kids to learn about trees, etc. Passing Rose Flashe, Flashe. Wonderful collection of pines on the far bank there. We then come out onto what will hopefully be a quiet lane. Surrey Lakes glamping. That certainly wasn't something that happened 13 years back when I did this walk. Don't think the word even existed. Welcome to 2023. Interesting information panel here. London 30 mile, Guildford 6, Godalming 3.5. My final destination. And the White Horse, a pub, 1.5 miles by car. So instead of walking on the road as I've done, there is a permissive footpath next to the lane which keeps you off the lane and safe. Obviously quite a bit of traffic coming from the arboretum along this lane. Coming off the lane, there is no indication of a footpath past these cottages. Phillimore Gardens, or Phillimore Drive, it just says a private drive. But that is indeed the route you take to get to the onward journey, which is then finger marked. Views back whence I've come. Plenty of cattle up on that hill. First style of the day. That's the warning on the footpath I've just left. There wasn't one at the other end, mind, so God knows what could have happened. Then come to another lane where we turn left. Another cracking view. Another herd of cattle over there as well. Well out of my way. Bit of aircraft noise in the background, unfortunately. Nonetheless, what a vista. You can see why Surrey is one of the most expensive counties in the country, can't you? To live. Probably need a Euro Millions win to live down here. I can't read what's on that, unfortunately, but it looks like Southern something or other. I wonder what that's all about. Anyway, just crossing this quiet lane to follow the bridleway towards Lane Cottage. Another lovely tranquil section of tree tunnel walking with the petrichor smell that's been with us all day. Wonderful. Plenty of lords and ladies around now. Passing Castle Manor. Or the entrance to it anyway. Passing over a weir or lock from the nearby canal, which I'll be walking alongside shortly. Passing Farncombe Boathouse, which I walked past a few months ago. Now entering the Way and Godalming navigations across the Lammas lands. Just here Catt's Hall Lock again, opened in 1764. So a bit of variety to today's walk. Leafy Godalming. So this is familiar terrain now. As I say, filmed this a couple of months back. Just seen a couple of paddle boarders on the canal. Certainly something I would have considered a few years back when my legs were in better shape and the hip wasn't replaced. Great way of getting down the stream. So now following the path through the Phillips Memorial Park, which again I've walked through last time I believe. Still walking alongside the way, but not navigable at this point. Looks like the fair is packing up and leaving. So here we are, 4 hours 40 and 12 miles on the button recorded, back at Godalming, and a very decent walk that was. Forgotten how good that was actually, that walk. Top quality, far better than last week's one. Weather held out as well, so as usual Met Office got it totally wrong. They seem to change it by the hour. They haven't got a clue what they're talking about most of the time, in my humble. They give a vague forecast the night before. They get the winds right, not much you can go wrong with them, but in terms of precipitation coming out of the sky, nah, not very good. Anyway, that aside, very good quality walk, as I say. A little bit muddy in places today, but hey ho, that's what you get after a night's rainfall. Very tranquil, for the most part jet noise free as well, so very pleased with that one. 13 years on. Book 1 walk 20 completed. I've just missed the 1725, no problem. Do my cool down now, catch the 1751. So a good day's walking. Till the next time.